What's up guys, ZiSotto here, and today we're taking a look at the skins for patch 5.22. In this patch we've got quite a lot of new skins, which are pretty cool in my opinion, so we're gonna go through them. As usual, I also link Elu down below, who does individual skin spotlights, which are much high quality. This is more like my opinion take on the skins and how they've turned out, as usual, and especially since we don't have patch notes yet for this week, I figured I might as well show them off. We're going to start with the Dragon Priestess Knox, which you can see, and we're going to go through abilities first. What you're seeing right here is her special emote, where she has that little dragon next to her, which is actually pretty cute. And we'll start with a basic attack. And then we have her 1. And her 2. And her ultimate. And her 3. And now we're gonna look at that from another angle as well. Dragon Priestess Knox is probably one of my favorite skins from this patch, just from the effects alone. If you look at this trail, just glowing fire trail she constantly has behind her, that looks really, really cool in my opinion, and I'm gonna show that off before even getting into the basic attacks. And these are the basic attacks, also fire projectiles. Some people have pointed out that the skin is very much a fire priestess more than a dragon priestess, but she still has those dragon horns. And she still also has that special emote, so I'll give it a pass. We have the 1, which is still a raven, it seems. It could also be a dragon, it's actually really hard to tell. And then we have the 2. And the 3. And also the ultimate here. All of this has the fire effects, and now I'm going to show you the special real quick. See this little dragon appearing here. And we're going to take that over here so we can show the other effects of the abilities as well. This is the 3 in an ally. It looks really cool in my opinion. This turning him into fire basically. I think that's probably my favorite effect from the entire patch, or from the entire changes to her. And we have the 1 here. You can see if we can get a close up of it. Must be a dragon. And oh, it has this cool fire trailer as well behind it, so really cool effects overall. I really, really like pretty much everything about the skin, but I think this is my favorite part. Because see what the ult looks like on a target. Oh, wow. That's a huge explosion as well. Very nice effect as well, so probably my favorite. And with that, we can also go to the voice lines, which I think also sound pretty cool.
Yes, bravo. Most impressive. You've earned my favor. I am your queen. You've earned my favor. What's a royal pardon? It's what you say when the queen burps. My dragons are going to eat you, wyvern you like it or not. You don't want to know what happens to my enemies. Hold your tongue or I will send my dragons on you. Have some respect for your queen.
So, no complaints with the skin at all. I think it's just absolutely amazing all around. And if there's ever one Knox skin I wanted, it's this one. This one is Pixel Hammer Thor, another one of those pixel-inspired skins, of which we already have a few. And this one, in my opinion, isn't exactly special. It's just another Thor skin, and honestly, in my opinion, he's better ones. But we're gonna look at his basics and abilities regardless, and we'll start with the basic attacks. And his 1, his 2, his 3, and then we could just go up in the ult real quick here and drop that down in place. Now we have the back view of Thor, and this is his first ability here. Pretty normal, with a bit of a different sound effect though, which I think is pretty cool. And you have this teleport effect when you teleport towards it in the same pink tone, and this is his wall. You can actually hear the very different sound effects all around. It has a kind of 8-bit sound to it, which I think is really cool in this case. And you have the same thing for the basic attacks as well, by the way. And then we have the 3. Again, very cool sound design on all of these. I really like that. Even though the animations are mostly just everything in pink. And then we have the ultimate. That sound is actually pretty cool. I like this. The effect of the ult itself is kind of, yeah, you know, standard Thor.
Yeah! I'm pretty awesome. You got this. That was insane! Defend left lane!
To be honest, not the most impressive voice pack or anything. It just sounds like a slightly hyped up Thor to me, to be honest, with a little more of a teenage voice. But it's also not the worst.
Sorry. Better luck next time.
Overall, in my opinion, more of an average skin from this patch compared to many of the others, but still not a bad one.
You can't tell with all this armor on, but I'm actually flexing right now. Congrats on the feed 2,000 times achievement. Nice. Oh, you want to argue with me over Smite chat? All right, I'm ready. I got my caps lock on.
Just want to show that joke real quick. I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty decent one. Next on the list is Cyber Samurai Hachiman. That one skin that they didn't show off before at all. Just another samurai skin, really, to be honest. But let's see how the effects are. Starting with the 1. And some basics as well. With the normal basics in comparison here, more like normal arrows. And then we have the 2. Ideally a bit closer so we can see it, but we'll move on to the 3. Now we lost the Hachiman. We're gonna lose him again because now we're gonna use the ult. Now let's look at Cyber Samurai Hachiman's basics and abilities from the back. These are the normal basics. These are the basics with 1. These 2. These 3. And just ultimately we're going to use to go to the other side.
I am perfection. Woo. Exhilarating. Your skill will suffice. I hate the sand on Clash. It really grinds my gears.
That was a decent one.
What do you get when you clone a cyborg? A cyclone.
I don't like this voice pack at all. It actually sounds uncomfortable in my ears, to be honest. It's just... that grinds my gears. So, definitely not a fan of that. Nothing all too special about this skin, in my opinion. It's just, you know, another one of those edgy samurai skins, but also not really necessary for him, in my opinion, because he already has a similar skin to it, just without the hair, I suppose. But nothing that, in my opinion, adds much to the skin. Especially because if you look at the abilities and basics here, the hair is not particularly animated anyways. This one is Infernal Zeus, a very demonic looking Zeus skin, and we're over here with a bot so we can actually show off all the abilities as well, starting with the basic attacks and the 1, which is pretty much the same, and then we have the 2. Can't really see that too well from here, and the 3 if we have Max on the Odin still, as well as the ultimate. Infernal Zeus is interesting in my opinion because it has such a changed model from the base model. It actually feels a lot taller as well, but I think it's not actually. It's just because of the horns being so high. You also see this cloud smoke effect with the fire lightning on the ground right away. And the same effect is also in his basic attack projectiles. And then we have his 1, which, you know, kind of looks the same, just a bit of a different, bigger projectile. And his 2. That is a lot more fire right here. Execute that very well. We're gonna use the 3 in a bit as soon as we have some targets on the other side. But first, let's look at the ultimate. That is absolutely crazy and a lot more than I expected for this character. Let's listen to the voice back a bit.
Remarkable. I am all that is terror. You are acceptable. I once tore a man's arm off. That's it. That's the joke.
Kind of as you would expect that kind of voice back to be honest. Not much to say about it. It's just your typical demonic one. The fire lightning looks pretty cool. And then let's check the ultimate with a bunch of enemies in it. Right here. Pretty cool effects overall. Very much as expected, but I wasn't sure how well they're going to execute the fire electric effects, and I think they really pulled that off well, so it definitely ended up being pretty nice looking. Not the kind of skin that I would like definitely absolutely want, considering that Zeus also has quite a few decent skins already, but also not a bad skin in my opinion. Actually, just noticed that he has the dragon wings as well on his legs, kind of like the Knox skin, which is very interesting. They kind of share that. I'm not quite sure why. I guess it's more demon wings for him than dragon wings, but I'm not quite sure why they share that. So I guess they're a bit of a poor couple in a way, more or less. Who knows? This skin is by far my favorite from this patch, even though this patch has a lot of cool skins, and that is Shadow Punch Ravana. You can already see his special emote here. We'll look at the other effect of that special emote later. I still think he gives off a lot of BROLY vibes with his longer hair and everything. A lot of people have said that he also looks like the character from Asura's Wrath. And at the end of the day, I think he also has references to at least some other character that I can't place. He's somewhere in between because his animation, or some of his animations, really don't belong to either of those characters. And if somebody knows more about it, let me know. But yeah, it's really cool in my opinion. Let's look at his basic attacks. And his 1. His 2. His 3. And his ultimate. And now for Shadow Punch Ravana's basic attacks. I like the touch of color they have in that, even though they're not that different, obviously, because it's normal basic attacks. I like the color animation here. The 1 has a slightly different sound, I think, even though not too different. The 2, obviously, as usual, just also in a greener tone. Same goes for the 3. It's mostly just recolored effects.
You can't run from me.
And this goes for the ultimate too, though. Wow, the passive effect after the ultimate looks really, really cool. This is his special emote. I'm not sure if this is some sort of reference to something. It's definitely very cool.
Hoorah!
And this is actually one that continues. So, as long as you're standing in the special emote, he's just floating like this. But as soon as he walks, he hits the ground like that. I mean, the floating stance is again giving me Dragon Ball vibes. I'm not quite sure what the punching the ground to moving is referring to, though. Somebody will know, I'm sure.
You're strong. My strength can't be beat. Psycho! I'll stand over your broken body and laugh. There's only one way this ends. You should know better than to face me. I'm quite a hit at parties. Make a punch with a real kick to it. Did you know Kernanos' boars know karate? Yeah, they mastered the pork chop. Are you a boxer? Because you look like one heck of a knockout. Did you know Kernanos' boars know karate? Yeah, they mastered the pork chop.
I actually love the vibe the skin gives off. I'm not sure who the voice actor for this is, but it has a very anime kind of vibe to me as well, so I think it goes really well with this skin. You can show the 3 on the target as well, the hands here, not too different, and the ult on the target. Probably not have any other effect, but I don't know, it just looks really cool. I really, really like the skin. And especially the walking effect that comes with it as well. It seems to have the same animation no matter which direction you're going in. No, it has a different animation sometimes. Can't tell when. Or it's just always the second animation. But you can kind of change some of them. As soon as you don't change from left to right, as soon as you change your direction gradually, it actually kind of works out like this. Really, 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 really cool. What can I say? I absolutely love that skin. And we're saving the best for last, or almost last, and that's Brutal Dragon Fenrir right here. Isn't he wholesome? With that cute little wave. I really love what they did with the skin. It's so different from the default model, but it still has Fenrir vibes just from, you know, how he moves and everything. It works perfectly. Let's look at his basic attacks. And then a quick jump with the 1 in place. And then the 2. A little bit different here, not the normal howl. We're going to do the ultimate here first, before we jump around again. That's just the model in bigger as usual. Gotta go up a bit. And then we use a 3 and jump forward a little bit. There you go. So with Brutal Dragon Fenrir, you already kind of saw that his animations aren't that crazy. Slightly different sounds here. That's the 1. That's the 2. That's the 3, also with a slightly different sound. And the ultimate. Just very minor differences. We can also look at the amped up versions here real quick. If we stack up the passive. Doesn't really change anything, obviously. And also with the 3, if we get us some targets over here. Hit multiple of them at once. Really nothing too crazy. It's more the default skin itself, the base skin, that is so changed in such a drastic way. Also no special emote along with it.
Excellent. You have honor. I am unstoppable. Let's end this fight. It's really beginning to drag on. I've lost my tail back in the siege of Svalgard, and once again during the battle for Stavanger. Remember, it's okay to lose a limb as long as it grows back. What's the difference between myself and Ares? One is the aspect of war itself, and the other is my dinner. A warrior's greatest glory is to die in combat. I envy you this day. Face me. Stare into the eyes of your defeat. I know a tenderfoot when I see one.
I really like his voice pack. I don't know who voiced this once again, but it has a very, I'm not sure, almost Games of Thronesy vibe to me. I really like that. I really like what they did with that. And they could have gone the cheap route with the dragons and give it more of a demonic kind of voice as well, kind of closer to the Zeus one, but they went the extra mile here to just have really nice voice acting for him, and I always enjoy it when they do that. I think between this and the Zeus skin and the Dragon Priestess, this one is kind of on the shorter end when it comes to the actual special effects of the skin itself. There's no real, like, great effects when it comes to the abilities, but it's also hard to do on Fenrir, and he doesn't have a special emote either. But at the same time, what they did with the model itself and with the voice pack is great, and I would prefer this over the Zeus skin. And I like that the theme of the patch seems to at least halfway be somewhere between dragon and fire. And this is the last skin of the patch, the Titan Forged Ymir skin, who is in a chest along with the Zeus skin. This one, the Fury chest by the way, this one is, in my opinion, kind of being made just because Titan Forge, Hi-Rez now Titan Forge, really wanted a Titan Forge skin for them. I don't know. I don't know why. It doesn't have a special emote. It doesn't have like much of a reason why it was being made, but it just exists, and yeah. But let's look at the animations. First, the basic attacks. And then we're gonna do the 2. And 3. And the ultimate. And now we can have a wall in front of our face as well. Can't even see the wall. Oh wow. Oh wow, that wall is... Yeah, I'm telling you, this skin was only made for Titan Forge. Only for that. And here we have the back of Titan Forge Ymir. You can kind of see from the back here that he's got a lot of details when it comes to the armor. There's like these glowing parts of it, and with their own effects. You can even see the heat kind of making the environment around it a bit blurry, which is pretty cool. And we can look at his abilities as well. We have this one here, the wall. Again, very, very different from what it's normally like. And I feel like a big part of the reason why they made the skin the way it is. Then the 2. Also very different with these spike trails. 3. And his ultimate. Actually a bit of a disadvantage with the ultimate here, because you can see very, very precisely where the ult is going to go, basically, and when it's going to end, and until when Ymir has time to cancel it out. But oh well. Wall once again. The spikes, they actually spike up on the enemy. That's interesting. And the 3. I kind of want to do the 2 again, just to see that with the spikes. It kind of distorts the spikes around it, which looks very interesting. And there's also like this smoky fire effect afterwards. I don't know if the 3 has that as well. We'll see in just a second here. No. Basic attacks also feel very impactful, more impactful than on the with the special sounds to it and everything. Also, no special emote on this one.
You inspire me. Woohoo! Magnificent. I am simply the best. If you had a really, really big forge, think you could call it a Titan Forge?
Oh god.
Everyone loves to listen to the stories of a blacksmith. We are riveting. One must be very precise when crafting for gods, and when fighting them. It took a millennia to learn what I know now. You are the dull one.
And what you can also see here, by the way, is this Titan Forge logo on his hammer. Now, some of you may be wondering, how do you get all the skins? The Ymir and the Zeus skin are in the fiery chest. The new Thor skin is in the pixel chest, I think it's called. And then Cyber Samurai Hachiman, Brutal Dagon Fenrir, and Shadow Punch Ravana are all purchasable items from the Odyssey, which I think is really cool. Having the Fenrir skin as well as the Ravana skin in there is a big plus for me. Speaking of the lack of normally purchasable skins most of the time, this is something where we actually get really cool skins as a direct purchase. And then as a bonus item for the Odyssey, if you get enough of the skins, you have the Dragon Priestess Knox one. And that's it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope this gave you a good overview of the skins. If you're new to the channel, feel free to click the sub button and the bell. It really helps me out. And other than that, see you for the next one tomorrow. DukeSloth, out.